Claressa Shields and Remy Ma's drama has gotten out of control, and it's nasty and chaotic. To be honest, it's the type of tea we didn't realize we needed. The rumor is that Remy hired someone to spike, which is why Clarissa supposedly pulled up to Papoose and Remy's residence prepared to throw hands. If verified, Clarissa's use of illegal substances in her drinks prior to her bout with Danielle Perkins might have resulted in her disqualification or even a boxing ban. However, Papoose intervened and told Clarissa to calm down, reminding her that it wasn't worth risking her boxing license for this mess. And let's face it, it's Clarissa backed off because it was probably what Remy wanted in the first place. But believe me, she wasn't thrilled about it. If you haven't followed all of this drama, rest assured, I've got you. A while ago, there were rumors that Remy and Papoose were divorcing, but that all changed when Papoose shared a Father's Day picture with their kid, and to their astonishment, Remy was not to be seen. At that point, the street began to gossip, and it turned out that Remy was purportedly going out with an here's where things get awkward. Papoose and Easy, an underground battle rapper known as Easy the Block Captain, were friends. Remy's life wasn't just pleasant. CIS was also rumored to be in a relationship of some sort with another rapper, according to pictures of them cuddling. Began going viral on the internet with identical timepieces, while Papoose maintained a sophisticated demeanor by not sharing any personal information online. Instead, he discreetly moved on, and guess what? He's now seeing Claressa Shields. She provided screenshots accusing Clarissa of being Clarissa, even threw shade at him while he was still staying at her place, saying that when she heard Remy's voice, she hung up the phone thinking, "Girl, you cheated first." Why are you upset? The double standards were genuine, but Remy wasn't finished. She accused Clarissa of disseminating false information. Clarissa's crew was out there trying to discredit her name, according to tales meant to make her look bad. In true clapback queen fashion, Clarissa responded. Clarissa even made a joke about actually fighting Remy and invited her to her upcoming match in Flint, Michigan, after calling her nasty and disgusting on Twitter. Oh, and let's not forget the Clarissa dance video that reportedly infuriated Remy, sources claim. It was nasty, messy, and everything. The internet was consuming everything, and just when it appeared like things were cooling down, Remy was prepared to throw hands if Clarissa wasn't a professional boxer fueled the flames by warning everyone at her next WAP combat event not to bring up the issue between Papoose and Clarissa, or they would be caught in the act. Get your popcorn ready, people. This feud is straight out of a reality show, and it doesn't seem like it will end anytime soon. This isn't your typical feud, rather, it's complete mayhem. The drama between Remy Ma and Claressa Shields is so intense that you can almost feel it through your screen. New level, as anybody familiar with Remy knows, she has never shied away from using her hands to handle objects and has established a reputation as someone who remembered the time she threatened Toya Johnson on Love and Hip Hop. CIS doesn't tolerate disrespect. But now that Claressa Shields is in charge, Remy isn't simply dealing with anyone in the picture. Clarissa is a boxing world champion. And let's face it, if Remy attempted to make physical contact with. Even while the streets are claiming that Remy carried things to a deeper level, we all know how that fight would end. In other words, she may have bribed someone to add illegal drugs to Clarissa's drink in an attempt to destroy her career. A positive drug test may have resulted in a suspension. When Clarissa learned of her disqualification and even the loss of her titles, she was prepared to arrive at Remy's house to resolve things. But Papoose intervened to prevent her from committing a grave error by reminding her that touching Remy may cost her everything. It was a lose-lose situation, and fans had a lot to say about Remy's boxing license, her titles, and the career she's worked so hard for. They have a point, But the drama didn't end. Many people said, "Girl, you're a boxer. We know you can fight, so why risk your license?" Remy, who is no stranger to controversy, escalated the conflict by making further charges, and now alleging that Claressa is disseminating false information rumors to disparage her. But Claressa retaliated by challenging Remy to a boxing match. Imagine that showdown, and the rumors only got messier. Began circulating that Remy had hired someone to tamper with Claressa's drink, a move that some fans believe is not just petty but perhaps illegal. Some people think Remy would go that far, but it's just wild rumors. After all, this is a full-fledged production, not just about Claressa and Papoose. If you thought that was the end of it, 50 Cent had to get involved because, of course, he did, with social media exploding and everyone taking sides. Whether he's sincerely worried about Remy or just trying to stir up trouble, he's gotten into the drama by throwing shade and adding more layers to this already chaotic situation. At this point, the feud has evolved from a private dispute to a full-fledged public soap opera, with every new twist and turn, and his commentary gets people talking. One thing is certain, this drama isn't going to stop anytime soon. Turn keeps us riveted to our screens, wondering what will happen next. Stay tuned. Let's face it, this tale is far from over. Remy Ma has never shied away from a battle, whether it be verbal or physical, and the streets are still discussing her supposed background, which includes the time she allegedly shot a buddy over a money dispute. Some people believe this to be evidence of her most ruthless nails personality. In addition, it serves as a sobering reminder of how risky it can be to allow feelings to rule one's actions. Amidst all of this turmoil, people are left wondering what's actually happening with Papoose. Some believe that his relationship with Clarissa Shields may be more complicated than it first appears. Could he be attempting to communicate a message to Remy pointing out her shortcomings, or even redistributing authority in their partnership? Or are others exaggerating the circumstances? Papoose has consistently portrayed himself as a devoted husband and father to his wife and his blended family. So if the rumors are accurate, this would be a significant shift. Clarissa Shields is causing a sensation by challenging Remy to a boxing match, which is in contrast to the image he has meticulously cultivated over the years. Is she attempting to resolve their disagreements in the ring, or is she just trying to prove a point? For Clarissa, boxing comes naturally to her, but confronting someone who isn't when a professional fighter was accused of having an unfair advantage, she defended her choice, stating that it would be a kind and equitable way to resolve their problems, but not everyone is buying it. Critics believe it's more about making a statement or perhaps even getting media than it is about finding a solution. Attempt to capitalize on the exposure this feud has generated, and then there's the timing of why everything is blowing out now. With some people believing there may have been others, point to deeper concerns like jealousy, insecurity, or even financial difficulties as the cause of private falling out that spilled into the public eye. Is obviously more than a little miscommunication, and social media has naturally made this drama into a full-fledged circus. Instagram and Twitter have become fans are taking sides, transforming comment sections into battlegrounds with cryptic postings, shady captions, and subtle jabs flying back and forth. Support Remy, claiming she is being unfairly dragged, while others support Claressa for refusing to back down. And poor Papoose is stuck. The situation feels like a reality show where no one can stop the layers of drama from continuing to rise, with the middle receiving heat from both sides. Nobody knows where this will end, but while this drama develops, it's worth taking a moment to reflect. The internet is consuming it. Consider the wider picture. What does this entire situation suggest about the media's role in sustaining public feuds and personal problems in today's society? frequently become public spectacles for clicks and views, blurring the boundaries between private and public space. And it's not only messy for Remy Ma. These accusations could be disastrous if they set a poor example for how disputes should be resolved generally. They are untrue. She has put a lot of effort into repairing her life and reputation following her incarceration, and this might reverse all of her efforts. However, Claressa Shields runs the risk of coming across as unduly combative or even opportunistic, which might harm her athletic career and ruin Papoose's entire reputation as the devoted family man is being called into question. This is more than simply petty conflict. It serves as a reminder of how difficult human relationships can be, particularly whether this feud is a legitimate complaint or simply miscommunications exaggerated by social media. It is becoming a warning. We can only wait and hope that cooler heads will win out for the time being. But let's face it, the internet isn't going to stop growing anytime soon. It thrives on memes, arguments, and constant speculation. Now let's discuss the genuine tea. There's even a crazy notion that Remy might have placed a hit out on Clarissa. Is she in danger if she begins to watch her back? Things became even more chaotic when 50 Cent chose to intervene. He gave Clarissa unsolicited advice, telling her to do whatever she wanted and not to argue with her. She would bring the Black Classic 50 and stir things up as usual, but Clarissa isn't really paying attention. She's already talking about a boxing match with Remy and has tweeted about Claressa Shields versus Remy Ma February. Second, let's just say that the internet went crazy. Some people believe Clarissa is going too far, while others claim she's just fighting fire with fire. For example, in an interview with Jamel Hill, Remy acted dirty first, and let's not forget who might have started this match. Clarissa spills some tea, claiming that Remy had given away her personal number in order to harass her. Clarissa wasn't going to take it lying down and clapped back, declaring that she would battle Remy for merely the majority of people believe Clarissa has this figured out, but don't discount Remy just yet. She has a history of tossing. This is where things get dark, and we're not just talking about rap battles. In 2008, Remy was sentenced to 8 years in prison for shooting her companion. Remy discovered that Makita Barnes-Joseph had lost $3,000 from her purse when they were out having a good time in Manhattan. Of remaining composed and thinking things out, she immediately accused Makita. Things quickly got out of hand, with punches being exchanged, obscenities flying, and a gun going off. Makita was hospitalized for weeks after a bullet struck her colon and rectum, receiving an 8-year sentence that served as a much-needed wake-up call for Remy. Even the judge didn't hold back in her description of Remy's irascible manner. So perhaps 50 Cent has a point when he advises Clarissa to be careful. We'll have to wait and see where this goes, but this isn't simply a headline-grabbing feud. It serves as a reminder that tempers may flare up and that there are serious repercussions. The internet is undoubtedly enjoying every moment of the upcoming wild saga, but it's no secret that Remy Ma has a history of letting her rage get the better of her. She attempted to persuade the judge during her trial for the notorious 2008 shooting that she wasn't who people believed her to be. She even claimed that Remy Ma isn't even the prosecutor Michael Mantosh, wasn't true to who I am. I'm not a thug, I'm not a threat to society, and I still have a lot to give. After purchasing it, he presented a completely different image, emphasizing that Remy was notorious for carrying a loaded weapon, which was a recipe for trouble. The incident became a cautionary story, and Remy was condemned, sealing her fate. What's crazy is that despite everything, she didn't appear all that I'm so sorry that she even included it in her rapping lyrics, which read, "I shot my friend over a band. And picture what I'll do to an I can't tolerate if you felt Remy had mellowed out since then." But in 2019, She demonstrated that she still had that same passion, purportedly at a benefit event at Irving Plaza. Threw a punch at her co-star Brittany Taylor of Love and Hip Hop New York, striking her eye hard. Without wasting any time, Brittany walked straight to soon after Remy was charged with 4 misdemeanors. She uploaded a photo of her black eye to Instagram and reported it to the police. May forced her to turn herself in due to assault and harassment, but she was fortunate that when the case went to trial, the assistant district attorney's case collapsed. Disclosed that Brittany's primary eyewitness had ceased to cooperate, and another claimed to have spotted Remy in a totally different location, when despite the fact that there is no concrete proof of the claimed incident, Remy was quite happy that she was spared jail time. Yet her name will always remain the conflict between 50 Cent and Papoose, particularly in the midst of the drama, dates back to 2018, when 50 made a daring remark under one of Remy's pictures said, "Damn Remy, you lost so much weight." Papoose wasn't going to take it lying down, so he clapped back forcefully, ending the rivalry. With the gloves off and all eyes on this brewing drama, fans are eagerly awaiting the next development. Whether it's in the U, can be sure that 50 Cent, the catalyst, will have a front row seat to all the action, whether it's on social media or in the ring. Because this story is far from over, things became even more ugly when 50 Cent became involved in the Remy and Papoose conflict. It all began when 50 commented on one of Remy's pictures. Papoose retaliated by saying, "Damn, Remy, you lost so much weight, hey Slim." Papoose didn't take it well and dismissed him. He also remarked, "Damn, Daphne Joy, no wedding yet. If 50 doesn't marry you, I'll introduce you to my homeboy," referring to his 50's baby mom. He uploaded a photo of Remy wearing lingerie with the message, "Remy is blocked till she gets mature," which naturally set 50 off. She dropped weight, and I told her husband that I wasn't fighting with anyone over their wife. That in typical 50's fashion, he went farther. He even made a joke after posting a picture of a balding Papoose with the remark, "Okay, but she lost weight and she's good. What do you want me to do about that?" Papoose didn't let that go unanswered, tweeting some crazy pictures of 50 people and even saying, "We're not watching Power Sam, get the strap." Using 50's own line, "Get the strap," as a hashtag was ugly and petty. But as we all know, 50 loves drama like this. Meanwhile, Remy's fat Jojo Hoffa's My Expert Opinion podcast said that 2024 has been difficult for hip-hop, but the mentor and godfather of her child with Papoose decided to remain out of it. Despite his commitment to Remy, he also respects Papoose, which makes things difficult for him in light of all the controversies that are making news. He said Joe even admitted that he was unaware that the drama was only a day away, demonstrating how much his worry about how their child would be affected by this public catastrophe weighed on him. Prior to Remy's shocking Instagram tirade, many conjectured that Papoose was at the restaurant where she was dining with him, acting as though nothing was wrong. Meal as well, but he promptly corrected the record by posting to my brother Fat Joe that I spent hundreds of dollars at Brooklyn Chop House, even though I wasn't there with them. Though I usually adore that restaurant, things took a turn for the worse when Remy revealed even more personal information, when Papoose revealed documentation of her alleged infidelity. She retaliated by saying she spent Christmas with their daughter previous year, in spite of Papa's assertions that she accused him of having a gambling problem, and attempting to. Remy also criticized Papoose for taping her during disputes, and tried to talk her into a peaceful divorce by claiming he wouldn't go unless there was a public outcry, and making fun of her by saying things like, "Not Remy Ma calling the police, for help you a snitch you a rat." She clarified that she didn't want to make her family members aware of the situation. Buddies like Fat Joe because they also cared for Papoose. As if that weren't enough, The blot captain revealed his adultery in a bombshell, with Remy saying Papoose was aware of it the entire time. He even acknowledged that Papoose had struck him, but refuted reports that he would end up in a fetal position if EA's is telling the truth. It appears that Remy left first, which means that the tale wasn't as dramatic as others were making it out to be. Could not be well received by her supporters, and as for Claressa Shields, she might want to heed 50's advice before facing Remy. Is not someone to mess with, so why do you think Remy is out there trying to destroy Clarissa as much as she can? Or is this just idle chatter? Who will exit this situation with their head held? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Remember to look at more of our videos for the most recent information about this crazy tale.